Have you ever wondered why some people remain unshaken in the face of adversity, while others fall apart over the smallest inconvenience? The answer might lie in an ancient philosophy that has survived empires, wars, crises, and still continues to transform lives to this day: Stoicism. In this video, you'll discover 7 powerful and lesser-known truths from Stoicism. Principles that can radically change the way you think, feel, and live. But only if you take them seriously. 1. The Stoics trained for the worst so they could live better. Despite how it sounds, Stoicism is not pessimistic. The Stoics practiced what they called Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of misfortunes. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, would ask himself, what is the worst that could happen today? He didn't do this to attract misfortune, but to prepare mentally. When you mentally rehearse adversity, you're less shaken when it actually arrives. Even more, you start appreciating what you already have, knowing how easily it can vanish. This mental habit is one of the core secrets of emotional resilience. 2. They believe the opinions of others are not your problem. Epictetus famously said, if someone calls you an ass and you don't believe you are one, why be upset? The Stoics taught that what other people think of you is beyond your control. Therefore, it's irrelevant. Modern psychology calls this an internal locus of control, the ability to focus only on what you can influence. How much energy have you wasted worrying about what others think? The Stoics remind us real freedom begins when you stop carrying the weight of other people's expectations. 3. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. There's a common myth that Stoics were emotionless. That couldn't be more wrong. Seneca wrote extensively about anger and how it can be destructive when uncontrolled, but useful when redirected with reason. A Stoic doesn't deny emotion, they feel it fully, but they choose how to act on it. That's emotional intelligence. They don't suppress or explode, they observe, understand, and respond deliberately. In today's impulsive world, that's not just wisdom, it's superpower. 4. They practiced voluntary discomfort even if they were wealthy. Would you willingly sleep on the floor, eat plain food, and avoid luxuries even if you were rich? Seneca did. Why? Because he wanted to prove to himself that he could live without excess. When you voluntarily face discomfort, you become stronger than your fears. You stop being a slave to comfort, status, or image. Practicing voluntary poverty taught Stoics detachment, humility, and most importantly, mental toughness. What's optional becomes a tool for strength. 5. The Stoics wrote to themselves every single day. Before journaling became trendy, Marcus Aurelius was already doing it. Every night, he'd write down his thoughts, emotions, and actions, not to impress anyone, but to know himself. These personal notes became one of the most important works in philosophy. Meditations. Writing brings clarity to chaos. It makes the invisible visible. Today's psychologists agree writing reduces anxiety, improves focus, and builds self-awareness. One small Stoic habit, one massive impact. 6. They view death as a guide, not a taboo. Memento Mori, remember you will die. To the Stoics, death wasn't something to fear, it was a teacher, a reminder that time is limited and therefore precious. Being aware of death helped them make better choices, value people more, and stop wasting time. Death silences the ego, kills procrastination, and inspires urgency with purpose. If you truly knew today might be your last, would you still waste time on what doesn't matter? 7. They believed you can't control the world, but you can control your response. At the heart of Stoicism lies one life-changing idea. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond. You can't control the economy, the weather, traffic, or the behavior of others, but you can control your thoughts, actions, and attitude. Learning to separate what you can control from what you can't, that's the foundation of inner peace. True freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's choosing your response no matter what life throws at you. These aren't just interesting facts, they're tools. Practical, actionable tools. And they prove that Stoicism isn't cold or distant, it's a rock for life. In a world drowning in noise, outrage, and distraction, Stoicism is a rock. It reminds you that the world is chaotic, but your mind can be calm. That life is unpredictable, but your decisions can be intentional. That emotions are natural, but suffering is optional. You don't need to become a monk or live in the mountains to live like a Stoic. You just need to start small. One reflection a day. One honest journal entry. One emotion observed, not obeyed. One decision based on values, not impulses. Because in the end, a good life isn't a perfect life, it's a life with purpose. And if this resonated with you, maybe it's time to go deeper down this path. Stoicism won't give you magic, but it will give you clarity. And right now, clarity might be the most valuable thing we can have. If this message helped you see life differently, subscribe to the channel. Here, we don't serve distraction, we serve insight. And sometimes, insight is exactly what the soul needs.